Hello, my name is Maria Paula Rojas. I was born on September 21, 1998. My family is made up of Rene Rojas. He was my dad. He was a transporter. She is my mom. My mom is an artist and loves to paint and does manual work very beautiful. And Manuela. Manuela is my sister. She is a psychologist and it is currently studying an specialization. She is very intelligent. In this occasion, I will talk about special living in my life, which has made a difference, and that is why it is so important. On August 15, my dad went to work, this time with a difference. For a month, I was going to be in Medellin, making trips for there to Barranquilla or Santa Marta. That was the last time I saw him. From that day, he would communicate only by phone. Only mom decided to travel to visit Manuela, my sister who currently lives in Pereira, because that September 6th was going to start living alone. While mom was traveling, I was still in the school when I worked making all the preparations for a presentation for which we have been preparing for months with my children for a presentation. I arrived at home late at night, tired and with the need to get up early from the evening I went to go to sleep. On Saturday, September 7, Dad called me at 7 in the morning, asking me typical things as if I had already risen, had already had breakfast, and if I had taken the dog. After this call, I got up and finished organizing some things that I was missing. A while later, my grandmother arrived, who came from a nearby town and went to keep me a company for a while. Not counting that at the time I was already leaving for the event. About 2 p.m. the event started. Being there, I feel nervous. I feel the need to go out and take the break before performing the presentation. Once we were ready, we went out and gave a show that was liked by guys, adults, and old people. After the event, almost at 7 p.m., we have to start organize the Tolima Theater and go to organize things and the Lyceum. After this, I come home. I called mom and told her that it was ready of going to bed. She told me that my sister's house was very beautiful, and that worries. I went. It's very beautiful your house, and she said, and she is going to sleep. And the next morning, my dad called me again. At 7 o'clock of the morning. I asked me some questions the day before. After that, I talked about and sat down at the computer to do some work that I have to send. At 1 in the afternoon, more or less, my cousins arrived. They need a place. We did some activities together and almost at. And 3 in the afternoon, they left for their home. Almost 13 minutes later, I received a call from my mother, who is traveling from Pereira. I noticed something, anyone because of her tone of voice, and she told me was to find a number of contact with artist boss, who then called me again. Among so many papers that might have had, I found a number. The fifth attempt, they didn't answer me. Then I called my mom, and she told me that having injured. It was all me knew. I kept calling that number until they answered me. The person who answered me call was the wife of the father's boss. She's very kind. Told me that they already had the accident report, that she was already telling the husband to call me. Almost half an hour later, my father's boss called me. Mr. B saying something like, "Hi baby, I am already traveling to Chino, and some colleges are in place. The notice is not very good. Already the news is confirmed that his dad is dead." At the time I collapsed and cried a lot. Hung up the phone and called my sister. I told him what had happened, and as expected, he did not have a good reaction. Quickly, I called to my aunt, who also lives in Pereira, but she didn't answer me. I called my cousin. I didn't answer. The last option was to call my cousin's girlfriend. When she answered, she called her the crying back. They already knew. Well, they called my dad's phone, and one of the friends answered and told him the news. I begged him to go to my sister. Now the hardest thing was coming, according to me. What would it be like to tell my mother? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I preferred not call here and wait for he'll arrive on the trip. I was alone at home. I called the psychologist at the high school. I told her that I would not attend work the next day. I told her about the situation, and immediately arrived companion to my house. My dad's brother arrived, who was enthusiastic to give him the news, and it was thanks to him that we knew what had happened. Followed by my cousins, and at almost 6 in the afternoon, my mom arrived. She says she heard about the news at the time when my uncle called, and didn't want to tell her that Dad had been injured. If not that they put his wife to talk. At 8 p.m. more or less, the Liceo psychologist arrived, spoken with my mom. I think that calmed her down. I was fine. I was very calm. I was accompanied by some classmates. My sister, my aunt, and my cousin arrived at almost 10 at the night. Almost at 12 at night, another uncles arrived, and the determination was made to bury Dad in the town. The procedures to bring that body began from Chino. It is almost 18 hours of travel, and so it was. On September 9, the funeral car left from Chino to San Luis on September 10 at almost 11 Yes, past 11 in the morning. We found the car here in Ibagué and we went to San Luis. When we arrived at the town, we found a beautiful surprise in the midst of so much chaos. People from the town had gathered on bicycles, motorcycles, cars to receive my dad's body. That day we watched him in my grandmother's house. At the time, 20 companions arrived to work with him in Medellin, the company, and that time was a blanket for so much paint. The next day, we had a party. My dad his companions decided to take him from the house until the church. Only usually I have a few memories of that moment. The last night, the last thing I remember was seeing many people in the church. I don't not remember face, but I feel the appreciation and that matter when we arrived and the cemetery. Everything was a beautiful, very quiet to say goodbye to that in the best way. The same day we traveled to Ibagué and we started 19 to some. The same day we traveled to sometime later I thought a lot about continuing to study because it is an indescribable pain. Yet I gained strength again and start my routine, more motivated than ever to get by my mother, my dad, and for me. This is my history. This is all for today. Thank you.